We know you hear our call.
It is 11:37 on this Tuesday, the 12th of January 2021. Welcome back. You are listening to the Mari Mukwanda Show. If your spouse has gone from being your best friend to feeling like a total stranger, you may wonder if your marriage is on the outs. But getting a divorce is a huge decision, especially if there's a chance you can rebuild what's lost. On this segment, the experts give their advice on issues that we deal with in a marriage. So you can stop Googling signs of being in a loveless relationship and start trying to salvage what's left. How to reset your marriage and going into the new year. That is a topic of discussion for today. And join me on at the other side is the director of Phoenix Life Improvement, Aadila Pretorius. She's also a therapist, coach, and facilitator. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Aadila.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for having me.
Alhamdulillah, shukran for joining me once again in the new year. And hopefully that this new year will bring about a fresh start for everyone, new beginnings, new everything, and also healthy relationships. Right. So many people set resolutions when the new year sets in, when the new year begins. But we know that setting resolutions is not really a good idea, but having goals is a better way to deal with situations and to improve oneself. So how do we set realistic marriage goals when the new year begins?
I think more than anything, more than just setting goals, it is really to come to a congruent decision within yourself that you want to have a conscious relationship. And it is a decision that, or a discussion that you need to have with your partner. So it is not just setting a goal that we want to achieve a better spiritual life or a better together where we grow into a certain direction or whatever you choose. It's not just one area of your life. In other words, what I'm saying, if you choose that you want to have a conscious relationship going forward, there's a couple of things that you can do. And the one is that you need to start looking at how can we amplify what is already positive within our relationship. And then also to identify what are some of the areas that we can work on, that we can improve on, and that can be a lifelong commitment. It needn't only be, for a short period of time. Like I said earlier, how can we work together on creating a better family life? There's really about 9 to 11 areas of life that we do in a coaching session when we do the wheel of life or the collage, a vision of your life and of your relationship. But I think there's more practical steps that couples can look at to become consciously aware within their relationship, other than just a specific goal that they want to achieve.
Mm-hmm. All right. What about short-term goals? Can trying to achieve these goals be short-term, like saying that we want to be better at communication, and we're going to take the steps. These are the steps that we're going to be taking towards becoming better at our communication. We want to understand each other's love language, and these are the steps that we're going to take. We want to do this. Can we rather set short-term goals like that in order to achieve our long-term goal of becoming, or rather of having a healthy relationship?
Yes, absolutely. It all starts with the short-term goals. It all starts with skills development, being willing to say, okay, what are some of the shortcomings, like I said earlier? What are some of the shortcomings? And how do we want to be? Where do we see our relationship going? And how do we achieve that? And that is exactly these type of things that you're mentioning that couples can go for. How do we improve our communication skills? What can we learn about having fun together? All these various things are little goals that you can set up. And like I said, it needn't only be for a short period of time, because learning a communication skill, for example, is something that is like learning how to ride a bike. Once you really understand how to communicate, how to understand your partner's needs and how to fulfill those needs and what it will do for them, these are things that are ongoing lifelong skills that you can always employ. But yes, absolutely, it starts with the short-term goals of, okay, what are some of the shortcomings? We don't communicate proper. We have problems in our field of intimacy, or whatever it might be for that particular couple. So yes, absolutely. It's these small goals that can build onto a conscious relationship, which can be a lifelong achievement if you continuously focus on what you learn and practice it.
Mhm. So we often reflect on our lives, what we did last year, the previous years, and what we can do better. How important is a reflection in a marriage?
I think it is quite important to be able to say what happened in the past, what have we learned from it, and to take the wisdom and the knowledge out of experiences to build on it and to make it into a better life. When we talk about holding on to the past, are you holding on in the past in the sense of feeling resentment, feeling anger, still that negative emotion? Or have you worked through your issues where you're now at a place where you can say, okay, we have had certain setbacks. This is what happened. What can we learn about it? And how can we avoid those mistakes, and make a better life for ourselves? But it's important that couples are able to recognize what is the wisdom in the wound. What really happened? Why did it happen? What was I supposed to learn from it? So that, like I always say, when we look at each other, we cannot see our own faces. So our partner is truly a mirror reflection of ourselves. So many times when there's certain events that happen in our lives and they press certain buttons, your partner is truly pointing out to you places what you perhaps have disowned of yourself, self-respect, self-worth, whatever it is, and if you can start seeing the relationship as, who is my partner? What is he or she busy teaching me of life and of relationships? Then your meaning of the experience changes, and it's much more easier to forgive. You will never be able to forget certain experiences, but it's what have you learned from it? And if you can get the wisdom out of the wound, that is when the meaning of the experience changes, and then you can safely move forward. So yes, you need to reflect. There is a need for reflection, but like I said, with a positive intention of how and where can you now improve on what has happened in the past and how to avoid it.
Definitely. Aadila, please stay with us. We're going to take a quick break, but we will continue when we return.
You can change that by sponsoring an AMA Winter Rescue Kit for 3,500 rands. Contact Africa Muslims Agency now on 011 834 8685 or donate online at africamuslimsagency.co.za. Africa Muslims Agency, inspiring the spirit of giving.
Endurance Boys College ke sekolo sa boarding and day se se ikemego se agilwe meleng wa lephefo wa N1 Polokwane. Re tlhotlheletsa thuto ye tlhwatlhwa ya monagano le maikutlo lefelong la maleba la go akaretsa botlhe. Re buša re latela melago ya NCS CAPS curriculum, ra ba ra neela ka madulo a bašimane ba mphato wa botshelela go fitlha ka marematlou. Ebile re na le didirišwa tša boarding tša mphato wa botshelela go fitlha ka marematlou. Maikemišetšo a Endurance College ke go fana ka thuto ya boleng jwa maemo a godimo bjo bo tlhotlheletšago botho. Endurance College ke legae la bobedi la polokego le totego. E ngwadišitšwe le Lefapha la Thuto e le go Umalusi. Tsebo ka botlalo e hwetšwa nomorong ya 078 452 6264 078 452 6264. Re hwetša gape go Facebook le Instagram goba o re romele email go polokwane@endurancecolleges.co.za.
What makes Randery Jewelers the optimum place for your memorable gift? Is it our range of exclusive, high-end, luxurious jewellery? Or is it our master craftsmanship of all your bespoke jewellery needs? We believe it's because at Randery Jewelers, we know just how to make your special moments last forever. Whether it's for a wedding, anniversary, or just a simple gift to show your love, trust Randery Jewelers to make it special. www.randeryjewelers.com. Make your moments last forever with Randery Jewelers, the family name you can trust.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media coming to you live from South Africa.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Mario Mokwanda Show on Salam Media. It is 11:48 on this Tuesday, the 12th of January, 2021. We are talking about resetting your button on your marriage with our life coach and facilitator and therapist, Aadila Pretorius. Aadila, thank you for staying on the line. We were talking about the importance of reflecting on your marriage before the break and also setting realistic goals. And now therapy. Therapy is something that some couples are not reluctant to go for because it is seen as something that is for broken marriages, that you only go to therapy when you have a problem. You know, as the saying goes, why fix it when it's not broken? But obviously, you don't really need to go for therapy when something is not is wrong. You start going for therapy when just to improve the relationship. So if couples were not going for therapy previously, is this something that they should include in the new year while resetting their buttons?
I don't think therapy can do any harm. For me personally, there's a therapeutic aspect, as well as then the coaching aspect where you learn certain skills. So there's always a positive spin-off. If there are certain issues, we put them through the courses of therapy where we work through these issues. We learn to understand each other's childhood background, childhood wounds. So that is sort of part of the therapy, to really gain that deeper insight and understanding of your partner, and then also to heal certain issues. I mean, if we're talking about infidelity, where the trust, for example, has been severely broken, that can take a couple of months of the partner that we're on the receiving end of his or her spouse having had an affair to work through those emotions, because ultimately if a couple decides, look, we still love each other, we still want to make this work, you can understand that there's a time and a place required for therapy, for that partner and that couple to work through all those emotions. But yes, like I said, it is then vital to say, okay, yes, we've worked through the therapy. We are at a place now where we understand each other, where certain amount of healing perhaps have taken place for the party that were cheated on. And it's then to say, how do we avoid this? So what are some of the skills? Where did we go wrong? So because in that therapy, you'll also start recognizing, what did we not do? Did we communicate? Do I understand my partner's needs? How long ago have I actually validated or acknowledged my partner, or seen the positive in my partner, his behaviors, her behaviors? What do I admire? So there's so many aspects that can come a part of going for, it's not just going for the therapy of healing the woundedness within the relationship. For me personally, it's very important that we also part with the skills of how do you avoid it, and how do you then create that ideal or that dream relationship that you would like to have going forward.
Mm-hmm. And how do you convince your partner that you should go for therapy?
And number one, I think it's very important that people need to learn to take responsibility for their lives. At the end of the day, you can be in a relationship and choose to stay there and be sad and be upset and fight every day or every weekend, or you can choose to do something positive about it. I always say, especially, it's especially a big thing for a lot of men. Because a lot of men sometimes feel, yeah, but I've got this. I know how to handle this. It's a very egotistical thing. And that's why I always say it takes a strong man to walk into a therapist room. And I commend them. I take my hat off for the men, because I know it's an egotistical thing. But it's really a very big man that can humble himself and say, okay, where do I need to improve? What can I do differently? And that is really a level of maturity that men do have. They are, like I said, I mean, I see couples. I don't just see the female, in the relationship. I see both the men and the women. And it's really men that want to take responsibility for their lives, for the partnership, and also, the life they want to give their families. Because ultimately, in most families where there are children, the security that a child will receive is when they see the loving relationship between mom and dad. So ultimately, your relationship between the spouses takes precedence, should be first, and then your children. A lot of people will say, no, but my children are first. Well, if you do not have a good relationship with your spouse, all of what you do wrong or the negative, your child is witness to that. And your child will take on a lot of those characteristics, be it that they either become like that or they become the complete opposite, but there will be an effect. So it's very important that men and women realize that the responsibility they have, not only for their life, but for their relationship and the impact their relationship is having on their children. So it's like I said, it's a level of manning up, becoming mature enough to say, but listen, maybe I don't know everything, because, we are not born geniuses and we're born with all the skills in the world. Communication skills is something that you learn. We are not taught that in school. We are not taught that growing up. So all these different things. And I mean, a simple example is, if we talk, for example, about respect, we have to teach children how to respect, not by hitting them and demoralizing them. But if we show respect, our children can learn respect. So when we respect our partners, that is when our children can also mirror that and learn and inculcate that in their character. So yes, to come for therapy, to work on yourself, self-improvement, self-development, it's something that it can only be good for you. It's to have the attitude, I know it all, it's really at your loss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's true. We have to try and convince our partners, but first of all, they must know that, hey, okay, I think it's not so bad. So let me at least try it for the first session, and then let's see how it goes. Right.
Absolutely.
So what tips do you have for us to help reset our marriages, since it's the new year and we'd like to do things differently and would like to have a healthier and stronger relationship?
A couple of things that you can do, and I alluded to it earlier, is one simple example that you can start doing is become aware of what you appreciate in your partner. Become aware of the looks, the physical appearance that has attracted you in the first place to your partner, and what you still love about your partner. Become aware of his or her kind and caring behaviors that you love. Special little things that he or she does for you, and his or her characteristics. And then also to tell your partner, I love the way you wear your hair or do your makeup, or the shape of your figure, or whatever it might be. It's to compliment your partner and let it be congruent, let it be real. I love the way you serve me breakfast. Anything that you really realize your partner does that with a lot of care and love for you. And then also it is to reciprocate that. When you are on the receiving end of such compliments and positive affirmations, it's also it's nice to receive, but we must also be able to give, because any person would like to also hear good and positive affirmations, what they're doing right in the relationship. So it's really to amplify some of the positive aspects within the relationship. And yes, it's to say, I really love it when you do certain things, or the way you care for me, because it enforces that positive behavior and it gives the acknowledgement, I can see your effort. So those are some of the examples. Then also there's also the element of surprise you can use, where you can, through the grapevine start fishing out, what kind of surprises would he or she like? Maybe, taking the person out on a picnic unexpectedly, or doing something special on his or her birthday, or any other day, where you can start asking, but what type of surprises do you like? And maybe not do it immediately, because then it is expected. But in the long run, think of things that that would be a pleasant surprise to your partner. And then also you can look at fun activities, and fun should be something, there should be no rules. It should be spontaneous. Everybody should be able to enjoy it. And ideally, when you want to re-romanticize and reboot your relationship, it should be fun activities that ideally are face-to-face. It could be something like massaging his shoulders or massaging her feet, where there's physical contact involved, or playful wrestling, with your wife. It's these type of activities where you just peel away the layers, become vulnerable, become childlike, and enjoy each other's company. These are different little examples of what you can do to start reconnecting with your partner on a different level, reappreciate them, and also reminisce on how it was when you first met each other. What were the little things that you liked about each other, and try to reignite those behaviors and emotions. And those are little things that, again, will draw yourselves to each other.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay, Aadila, we have about 2 minutes left. So quickly tell us about the romantic safari getaway that you are going to be hosting.
Yes, it is in collaboration with Kenzo Project Management. They are the project managers. I will be the therapist and the coach that will be conducting 2 sessions, the Saturday as well as on the Sunday. And the event is to be held at Entambeni Private Game Reserve in Limpopo. It covers full luxury accommodation. All your meals are included. Obviously, the game drive to see the Big Five, and we've visited the site, the venue last year already, and we were fortunate enough to see most of them, which was a lovely experience. And I can just vouch and say it is not the same as going for a holiday at the ocean. You cannot see, giraffe, and you cannot see rhino here on the beach next to you. It's an experience really that I cannot commend enough to say you cannot compare that to any seaside holiday. Then, of course, it also includes a couples massage and a special Valentine's dinner with some drumming and so forth. So, yes, and, it's really the reason why we came up with it. Going through COVID and the strain that is placed on couples, there's such a need for couples to reconnect. That's one. And then obviously, in support of the local tourism, COVID has really restricted international travel, and a lot of our game reserves clientele were from the international market. So by the grace of God, they've accommodated us at a reduced rate so that we can cater for the local market as well. So it is to be held on from the 12th to the 15th of February, inshallah. And should the date be postponed, then obviously we will advise clients accordingly. But it is falling over the Valentine's weekend, if that should mean something to some people. But we're looking at reigniting, re-romanticizing, and I'm hoping to teach some communication skills, and then also we're going to go into intimacy on the 2 respective sessions. And yes, if somebody would like to book or learn more, they can go to www.happily-ever-after.co.za, or they can call 061 499 0525, and they will be able to learn more and place their bookings as well. Thank you so much for allowing me and giving me permission to mention this.
All right, no problem. And before you leave us, what are your contact details should anyone be interested in being hypnotized?
My cell number is 0721 990 432. And my email is Aadila, Aadila, at Phoenix, PHOENIX-life.co.za. And if you would like to visit my website, it's www.phoenix-life.co.za.
All right. Shukran so much for your time and knowledge once again, Aadila, and have a wonderful day ahead. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure.
Likewise. Right, that was Aadila Pretorius, a coach, facilitator, therapist, and director of Phoenix Life Improvement. If you would like to contact her, you can send an email to sorry, you can call her on 072-199-0432, or you can visit www.phoenix-life.co.za for more information and how you can get her on board to coach you, to help you with your marriage or your life or whatever it is that you are going through. Because like I said, there is help out there, and it starts with you. All you have to do is take the first step into getting the help that you need. All right, it is 12:03.